Hello there, Mr. Sutton here, bringing you the IM3 710 extra practice solutions on the other trig functions. To figure out this problem, let's first convert this to a positive angle. So this is really cotan of, let's see, if you add 360, that's going to be 210. And then that is 30 degrees away from the 180 line, so that's a reference angle of 30. Cotan, which behaves like tangent, we've got a positive slope in quadrant 3, so I can rewrite this as positive cotan of 30 degrees. And now using sine and cosine, I can rewrite this as cosine of 30 over sine of 30. Cosine of 30 is root 3 over 2. Sine of 30 is 1/2. So we have root 3 over 2 over 1/2. These 2's are going to cancel out, leaving us with just radical 3 for our final answer. For this problem, we're trying to do secant of pi over 2, or secant of 90 degrees, if you think better in degrees. This is really 1 over cosine of 90. Now, cosine of 90, that's the x value at the top of the unit circle. That's 0, so this is really 1 over 0, which we know is undefined. For this problem, we're trying to find cosecant of negative pi over 2, or negative 90 if you want to think about it that way. Now, it might also be easier to think of this as positive 270 degrees if you add 360. Cosecant of this is really equivalent to 1 over sine of 270. And sine of 270, we know that's the y value at the bottom of the unit circle. That's negative 1. So 1 over negative 1 is going to give us negative 1. On this one, we want tan of negative 90, which you could also think of as tan of 270. So this is really sine of 270 over cosine of 270. Sine of 270, that's going to be negative 1 because it's the y value at the bottom of the unit circle. Cosine of 270 is going to be 0 down there. So we have negative 1 over 0, which is undefined. For this problem, we want secant of 270, which we can really think of as 1 over cosine of 270. Cosine of 270 is 0, so 1 over 0 gives us undefined. To make my life easier on this problem, I'm going to start by adding 360 to get a positive angle. So this is going to be cotan of 225. Now that's 45 degrees away from the 180 line, so that's our reference angle, 45. And in quadrant 3, cotan, just like tangent, we're talking about the slope of the angle. That's going to be positive. So this is positive cotan of 45 degrees. Now I can rewrite this with sine and cosine. This is cosine of 45 over sine of 45. Those are both radical 2 over 2. So this whole thing comes out to 1. For this problem, let's start by getting a reference angle. 135 is 45 away from the 180 line, and tangent, the slope of the angle, is negative in quadrant 2. So this is negative tan of 45. Now I know tan of 45 is 1, so this is really just negative 1. On this one, we're tackling cosecant of 330. Reference angle on that is 30, since that's how far we are away from the 360 line. Cosecant behaves like sine, the y values, which are negative below the x-axis in quadrant 4. So we end up with negative cosecant of 30 then, which I can rewrite as negative 1 over sine of 30. Sine of 30 is 1/2, so negative 1 over 1/2, same change flip, that ends up being negative 2. On this problem, we're dealing with a cosecant of negative pi over 3, or negative 60 degrees. So reference angle on this is just going to be positive 60, because that's how far you are from the closest x-axis angle, which happens to be 0. And then, let's see here, down there, the y values are negative, because you're going below the x-axis. So this is going to be negative cosecant of positive 60. And we can rewrite this as negative 1 over sine of 60. Sine of 60 is root 3 over 2. So negative 1 over that, that's going to give us negative 2 over root 3. And multiply by root 3 over itself, we end up with negative 2 radical 3 over radical 3. On this problem, we're trying to find tan of 315. Now the reference angle, we're 45 degrees from 315. So that's going to be our reference angle for this one. And tangent is negative in quadrant 4, because we have a slope, a negative slope going down there. So this is negative tan of 45 degrees. We know tan is really 1 if you plug in 45. So this just ends up being negative 1 when all is said and done.